This time we'll discuss countries with mutual animosities and their reasons. North Korea and South Korea, divided by ideological differences, engaged in a direct conflict from 1950 to 1953 along their land border, with their current relationship remaining tense and little progress towards reconciliation. The future outlook for their relations appears grim, with tension levels consistently high, rated at a 9. The division reflects deep-rooted ideological and political differences that have persisted for decades. The USA and Russia, separated geographically, have engaged in proxy conflicts primarily driven by political disputes. Their current relationship is worrying, with deteriorating progress towards improvement. The future outlook for their relations seems bleak, and tension levels remain alarmingly high, rated at an 8. This tension is a continuation of the Cold War-era rivalry that has adapted to new geopolitical contexts. India and Pakistan, neighboring countries with a land border, have experienced ongoing conflict since 1947, largely rooted in religious differences. Their current relationship is tense, with no significant progress toward peace. The future outlook for their relations is bleak, with tension levels critically high at a 9. The Kashmir issue remains a central point of contention, exacerbating tensions. Saudi Arabia and Iran, two separated nations, have engaged in proxy wars primarily due to political disagreements. Their current relationship is worrying, with relations deteriorating further. The outlook for their future interactions is negative, with tension levels persistently high at an 8. This rivalry is primarily fueled by a struggle for regional dominance and sectarian divisions. Palestine and Israel, sharing a land border, have been in conflict since 1948, with historical claims fueling the dispute. Their current relationship is in crisis, with the situation worsening over time. The future outlook for their relations is grim, with tension levels at the maximum, rated at 10. The deep historical and territorial disputes make this one of the most intractable conflicts in the region. China and Taiwan, separated by the Taiwan Strait, experienced direct conflict from 1927 to 1949, rooted in ideological differences. Their current relationship remains tense, with worsening progress toward any form of reconciliation. The future outlook for their relations is poor, with tension levels critically high at a 9. This situation is complicated by international diplomatic recognition issues and the One China policy. Greece and Turkey, neighboring countries with a land border, engaged in direct conflict from 1919 to 1922 due to historical disputes. Their current relationship is moderate, with stagnant progress towards improvement. The future outlook for their relations is neutral, with tension levels moderately high at a 7. Issues like territorial disputes and migration continue to strain relations. Armenia and Azerbaijan, neighboring countries with a land border, have been in conflict since 2021, with historical disputes as the main cause. Their current relationship is tense, with the situation worsening over time. The future outlook for their relations is grim, with tension levels alarmingly high at a 9. The Nagorno-Karabakh region remains a flashpoint for military escalations. Serbia and Albania, separated by geographical boundaries, experienced direct conflict from 1998 to 1999, primarily due to historical issues. Their current relationship is moderate, with progress noted towards improvement. The future outlook for their relations is positive, with tension levels at a moderate 7. Efforts towards European integration have helped improve relations, though historical tensions linger. Sudan and South Sudan, sharing a land border, have been in conflict since 1955, largely over political disagreements. Their current relationship is worrying, with no significant progress toward resolving their disputes. The future outlook for their relations is negative, with tension levels remaining high at an 8. The division of the two countries in 2011 has not fully resolved the underlying issues. Morocco and Algeria, neighboring countries with a land border, experienced direct conflict from 1963 to 1964, primarily due to political disputes. Their current relationship is moderate, with progress towards improvement remaining stagnant. The future outlook for their relations is neutral, with tension levels at a moderate 6. The Western Sahara dispute continues to be a major point of contention between them. Kuwait and Iraq, sharing a land border, were in direct conflict from 1990 to 1991, driven by political motives. Their current relationship has reached a moderate state, with signs of improvement over time. The future outlook for their relations appears positive, with tension levels relatively low at 5. The memory of the Gulf War remains, but diplomatic efforts have fostered a cautious reconciliation. Chile and Peru, neighboring countries with a land border, engaged in direct conflict from 1879 to 1883, primarily over political issues. Their current relationship is moderate, with progress being made towards improvement. The future outlook for their relations is positive, with tension levels relatively low at 4. Historical disputes have been largely addressed through diplomatic channels, leading to improved relations. Hungary and Romania, sharing a land border, were involved in direct conflict from 1918 to 1919, largely due to historical grievances. Their current relationship is moderate, with noticeable progress towards betterment. The future outlook for their relations is positive, with tension levels at a low 4. Both countries' integration into the European Union has played a significant role in mending relations. Colombia and Venezuela, neighboring countries with a land border, experienced tensions from 2008 to 2010, primarily driven by political differences. Their current relationship is worrying, with progress toward improvement remaining stagnant. The future outlook for their relations is neutral, with tension levels at a moderate 6. Political ideologies and border issues contribute to the ongoing tension between these nations. The UK and France, separated by the English Channel, engaged in various conflicts from 1109 to 1815, rooted in historical rivalries. Their current relationship is moderate, with steady progress towards improvement. The future outlook for their relations is positive, with tension levels relatively low at 3. Despite their tumultuous history, the UK and France maintain a strong partnership, especially within the context of European politics. Indonesia and Malaysia, sharing both land and maritime borders, were in direct conflict from 1963 to 1966, primarily over ideological differences. Their current relationship is moderate, with signs of improvement. The future outlook for their relations is positive, with tension levels at a relatively low 4. Shared cultural and economic ties have helped smooth over past conflicts, leading to a more cooperative relationship. Hopefully, all countries in conflict will soon be able to lower their egos and reach a peace agreement. All of us certainly want a world of peace and harmony.